G'day lovely people, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard, this will be the Superdream, this will be me trying to strip it down a bit and get those pipes off. I'm having no joy with the electrics. I did have a brain fart last night that maybe it's a side stand switch, it doesn't have one. Now I do know that the engine was seized, I have unseized it, I do have a really low compression on the right hand side, on the high side, so I am going to have to transfer it across to new frame. Not sure what I'm going to do with new frame yet, whether it's going to get sandblasted and painted. I am looking at the centre stand as being rather crap. I've looked at Ryan at Bikes of Rye, trying to get his off and failing dramatically. He'd end up cutting it off. I don't think it comes off. Or certainly not the way he was trying to do it, belting through the centre pin. I think he was on a hide into nothing from the beginning there. So I'll have a think, but I'm going to have to do something with it one way or another. But one way or another, this engine's going to have to go from that to that. It's low compression on one side, so therefore I'm going to have to look at piston rings, etc, etc. I really want to see the condition of the cylinders. Also with this bike, it's not selecting gears, so I'm going to have to get into that bottom end and do a bit of examining. So let's carry on. I'm probably going to fast forward bits because I just want to get this exhaust off. Studs came out absolutely no problem, which is good. Sorry, studs, bolts came off. Somebody has loved this bike. Before. Right, let's get around the other side. It's heavier because I've still got the silencer on it because it wasn't wiggling. Wiggly, you jiggler. Try not to just clumsily drop it on the floor. That box looks in really quite good nick. Right. Just disturb the dog slightly. My shadow is in the way because it's an unusually sunny day. Yeah, that didn't look too bad at all. Get out the way, dog. Let's try and keep those on, shall we? A little bit of rust on the inside of those. Don't lose that bolt. Oh. So what we got, as you can see, Small hole there. I think that's not too undealable, and a bit rusty. A couple of small holes around the top as well. It's a bit jangly. It's baffle elements, so bit rusted out on the inside in terms of the internal baffles. There you go, you can see it. Well, I can see it. Yeah, so it's got an internal baffle that goes around that way, that bends round with holes in it. I'm not entirely sure what you can see, not a lot. There we go, that's a bit better. You might just be able to make that out. Maybe. But a bit of poking around should be able to square that away. Right, exhaust done. Let's just tidy up before I lose things. Right, so I've packed stuff away. It's too nice today to spend all of it in the garage. I need to go out and do something. Collector box, I've given a clear up. There we go. A bit of wire brush on a drill. It's too bright to really see, but I've got 2 holes, one there and one there. And I think even with my very rudimentary welding skills, I might be able to just fill those up. There's a fair amount of metal around it. It's fine. The bigger problem is going to be that one, where having cleaned it out, it is wider. Not sure if you're going to be able to see on the inside. Let's get you out of the light. There we go. You see the hole, but a fair amount of metal in there. Now, what I should do is slicey, drop a section in there and weld it in. Now, I don't think I'm that good. What I think I'm going to end up doing is cure rust on it to try and stop the rust from spreading, and then just drop a panel over the top. What I may end up doing is just chucking a load of gun gum over the top because I've cocked up my welding. I'm probably not going to film my welding. I don't really have the space for it, and my welding is crap, but I will show you the end result. But that'll do me for the moment, and I'll drop you back in as and when I get back to it. God, I can't focus. What's going on? Rubbish. Oh, better. Nope. Oh, rubbish. Oh, and the bit that I didn't show you, that's what was inside. So one of the rusted baffles on the inside. Not great, but hey. Right, and there we go. Hung up in my lovely freshly painted arbour, which my wife's going to fricking kill me for when she sees it, if she sees it. Yeah, there's the collector box, so I'm glad I didn't film it. I did try and weld up the hole that I had in the bottom there. It was about, well, less than my fingernail. Trying to weld it up, it got to about my fingernail, maybe a bit smaller. I'm being a little bit dramatic for effect. Effectively, I cleaned as much as I could and then just welded a plate over the top that was probably, what, 20mm by 20mm, a little bit of shaping to get around the bend. Got it actually, I think, quite well sealed, but looked at it and thought, well, I've got the opportunity now, so I've put a load of radiator filler over the top. And I know it's a bodge, you know, please don't, you know, please be gentle. But my welding's just not good enough for something like that. It's good enough to put a plate on, it's good enough to make it solid enough, but there was 1 or 2 little holes where I'd started to burn through, and I'm just not good enough to weld thin metal and weld up holes, because I knew I'd just end up chasing them and making them worse and making them worse. And by holes, I'm talking pinpricks, no, a pinprick that being pushed all the way in. You know, not 1mm, but you know, just like 2 or 3, well, 1 or 2 actually, little pinprick holes. So I've just gone for filler over the top. I then went for rust converter over the top of the whole thing, and then some engine enamel black over the top, just to make it look better as much as anything else. So, you know, what have I ended up with? Well, sorry, not look better, to make it, to help its rust proofedness. It's in a fairly harsh position on a bike. It's gonna get covered in shite and water and everything else. So hopefully this will help it live a little bit longer. You know, it's managed over 40 years. Why not try and help it a little bit more? I'm just trying to find the other bits. Actually, oh, there we go. I actually got quite successful on the other pieces, and I've literally just dropped metal on top of the hole, you know, cleaned it out to get it as clean as I could and get through the rust as much as I could. And there's 1, 2 I can't quite get to them, but effectively, I mean, they closed and they're nice and close to the end, so I could actually hold it up to sunlight to make sure that I closed those holes. So yeah, so exhaust there, tucked away. I'm not going to see that for a little while. And what I'm currently doing is trawling the internet looking for my nearest sandblaster and powder coater. I found a very, very good one by the looks of it. Actually quite reasonable for, well, a lot cheaper than I thought actually, about sort of, you know, 85 quid-ish for a frame to be sandblasted and powder coated, which I think's pretty damn good, cheaper than I could do it, and probably considerably better results. Well, not powder coating, I can't do that, but even cleaning and painting, that's pretty impressive. But it's an hour away, so there's got to be something closer than that, so I'll keep looking. But that'll do me as a bit of an update. Cheers all, ta-da.